Good morning, y'all. I'm in traffic, so I wanted to share what was on my heart. One, this is the first time in my life I've been able to reflect on a lot of things and not be consumed by the negativity or the pain or, straight up the enemy in it, right? This is one of the first times in my life I've been able to do that and not be consumed by such negative emotions. And so because I've been able to reflect like that from a healed place, or at least just a solid, stable place in the Lord, I've been able to process different emotions that may come up, may rise. And also, though, I've been able to accept, what has happened. And we've talked about that so much. Like, you can't have radical change until you have radical acceptance. I'm even at a point to where I can kind of laugh about it, in the sense of, okay, you got me, okay, you done got me and had me for 30 years, but time is up. And I've desired that for so long. I didn't know how to get to that for a very long time. And I think I'm smart, so it's these things I've been able to understand, but there were still so many blockages caused by lies and things that I took on to be true over the years because of how I was treated. Now, something that, in the last, really since September, something me and the Lord have been working on is, just because you were targeted, just because you were victimized does not make you a victim. And so it's all these lessons and all these words and all these things He's been whispering to me over time that I've shared on the internet, right? And just because the instances, the experiences have been abuse and mistreatment over the years, that does not mean that's the storyline God wanted you to always live in. I don't think He ever wanted us to live in that storyline. I don't think He wanted us to be, in toxic family dynamics, to be raised by toxic parents and, dating toxic people and thus raising toxic children. I don't believe that's what He wanted for us at all. I don't believe that's what paradise is like at all. However, because of sin, because of man, that is why we find ourselves in these situations, locked up with these generational curses, right? Like locked in step with these mindsets. And so I don't believe that's what He wanted at all. And so getting to a place in my life and being like, just because that's what I have experienced up until this point, that's not what I'm going to continue to experience. Just because that is what I have experienced up until this point, that does not mean that's what I deserve. You get what I'm saying? And finally being able to really, crumb on my face, really be able to break free from all of that. And so the last thing I want to share, because I'm so grateful for that first part, but the last thing I want to share, and if you watched my recent lives, if you got to catch those before I made them private, but I want to go back to actual video that I made, and I made a live that day too. I was at my grandma's house and I made a live, coming from a place that once felt like prison, right? And I made a video that day about that life of betrayal. That's the name of the album, 2 times or times 2. But Young and Ace, I made a video with the song Deserve It. And I talked about betrayal on Facebook a couple weeks ago, because in that instance, it was a situation where, it was the first live that I put private, feeling like people teamed up together to come against me, right? And it felt like betrayal. Look at it this way, it felt like you having the heart posture of the enemy, towards me. That's betrayal. Like, why are you coming in agreement with the enemy to come against me? That's a level of betrayal. But then why are you coming in agreement with another human who is already also in agreement with the enemy to come against me? Now both of y'all humans are trying to come together in that particular instance. And so it just felt like betrayal across the board. But what I realized this morning was, in the different toxic family dynamics, which is what we talked about on the last live, which I'm thinking about making them all public again. I am. So if y'all just see lives pop up, that's what I did. But I was listening to Dr. Romney, and this is the first time I've ever been able to listen to her, and I don't just get just mad, furious, and just upset because I can't process and regulate, the emotions that come with having to accept what has took place over the years. All these instances were like, all I was trying to do is stand up for myself. All I was trying to do is stand up for, the kids. And it's like, and y'all really tried to flip this. Like, and even when I mind my business and don't speak because of who I am, y'all would be mad and y'all would feel a sense of shame in who you were, right? And try to take it out on me. Like, I have never been able to watch her really and, I would have to turn it off because it would be triggering me too much, basically. But anyways, I was listening to one of her videos this morning, and she was saying how when that happens within the family dynamic, that can feel like betrayal. And it made a couple of things click for me that have not clicked before. You being the generational curse breaker, and it literally feels like everybody carrying the curse is coming up against you. Like, what in y'all, which is the hurt, the pain, the wounds, all that, they're on unprocessed trauma, because everybody handles it differently. I'm not making excuses for nobody, because my unprocessed trauma didn't make me treat people like that, didn't make me bully people, didn't make me gang up on people, didn't make me attack and victimize and blame the person who I was attacking, targeting, and abusing. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't move like that. I've never in my life wanted people to feel the feelings that I felt, put them in the corners, push them in the corners in positions that I've been getting pushed in since I came out the womb. You know what I'm saying? I never want to do that to people. But anyways, when your family, especially when it feels like they can't stand up for you, they can't speak up, like, can't nobody say what's wrong, like, what y'all scared of? You know what I'm saying? When they do that, though, that feels like betrayal. So I didn't understand how I've always, kind of felt like that. And remember, the name of the album is Life of Betrayal. So it wasn't always instances where like, oh, such and such did this and such and such did this. But in so many moments, you chose the devil over me. In so many moments, you chose the curses over me. In so many moments, because I was the only one trying to stand up for what was right. I was the only one trying to say what thus saith the Lord, right? Everybody wanted to go against me. Everybody wanted to gang up against me. Everybody wanted to be on one accord with the false narrative for the family, the false narrative for me. And I didn't realize how that had felt like betrayal my whole life. So now I'm in these toxic patterns where, betrayal is normal. Like, if my family always was betraying me and choosing the devil over me, absolutely, I'm gonna keep choosing men who gonna keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep choosing friends, because that's what happens. And I said that I would befriend these girls, and it would always be like they couldn't check their heart when it came to me. And at some point, I'm always wondering, like, when she gonna start acting weird, because it always seemed to come a point where now she gonna team up with the devil to come against me. And I hated feeling like, well, maybe I'm the problem, because you get to a point where it's like, well, if this keep happening, I gotta be the problem. I'm the only common denominator, when that's not really what it is. Now, in some instances, folks will be talking like this and they are absolutely the problem. I am not the problem, though. And the Lord himself told me that. You get what I'm saying? And even the fact that I sit there and I be like, maybe it is me, that's proof I'm not the problem. You get what I'm saying? And so experiencing that for my whole life, I think I'm just happy right now, because I finally feel free. I finally feel like I can breathe, and I'm not pressed no way or another. Another thing that she talks about is codependent amnesia. So you'll just forget all the stuff these people put you through for the sake of having family, for the sake of being in a relationship, for the sake of being friends with somebody. When you show me time and time again that when it come down to it, you're not in a position, you're not ready to choose the Lord, which goes back to their walk. You're not choosing right, period, but you also not choosing right when it comes to me. And you are in a state of betrayal when it comes to me, because you are in agreement with the enemy, because you haven't healed, because you can't take a look in the mirror, because you can't reflect and process your trauma. You not willing to go to therapy. You know how crazy it is that somebody who probably wouldn't have even needed therapy like that, well, I don't know, I feel like we probably all need therapy, but I'm in therapy because of folks that really should have went to therapy, and because they didn't go to therapy, what they did to me, how they treated me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when out the gate, it wasn't in me to be nasty, mean, abusive to people. But now I gotta go to therapy because, look at that, random thumbs up. But now I gotta go to therapy because you didn't go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? And also being in a state of, I don't like being around people, which I figured this out a long time ago. I don't choose to be around people that make me feel like I need to go back to therapy. I've been in therapy multiple times in my life, for the sexual abuse, for just adulting, for the grief. I've been in therapy for so many things across the span of my lifetime, right? And I'm not going to be in environments where I get triggered back to such dark places because you need to go to therapy, right? And that's when you have to understand where you are, understand what the Lord is speaking to you, understand how you coming as a person, understand how you coming as a woman, ladies, right? Understand that, so that when people start projecting and doing all that stuff, like, they ain't got nothing to do with me. And I've been so proud of myself lately because I've just never been in this place like that don't have nothing to do with me. The only thing that had to do with me was me understanding how God created me understanding how he made me, how he called me to show up in this world, how he called me to show up in my family. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what had to do with me, and healing from all the things that the world, that the enemy tried to dump on me and make me receive as true. That's what was on me. That was what was up to me, right? And being able to set boundaries and separate, because that ain't how we getting down over here. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, that ain't what it is. So I hope that gave y'all a little bit more insight. I'm really, now I feel like I can really help people. Like, before, I was still trying to help myself, and I'm still going to always continue to help myself. I can't just stop helping myself and then I'm suffering and then I'm trying to help. I can't do that no more neither, right? Like, and so I love y'all, and I pray that if you caught the live, like, you feel seen, you feel cared for, and I thank God for this space, this community, even when I was struggling with it, not understanding, like, what's going on? Like, why would you have me talking about this? Why would you want me to share this? I thank God for this, because I recognize the importance of us having that safe space, truly, where people understand what you've gone through. People have gone through those same things, and they don't make you feel crazy, and you feel emotionally safe right over here. And so I just thank God for that, and I thank him for our healing. I thank him for our growth, and I just pray that we all continue to see how he made us, and we continue to reject the enemy narrative, and reject the wounds and the pain and the trauma for people who haven't dealt with that. Like, you trying to inflict that stuff on me because that's how you feel, and that ain't even how I feel. That ain't even how I feel. Like, I wish I would have understood this. Oh God, I just ran over something. I don't know what that was. I hope it wasn't nothing with nails in it, but I wish I would have understood this 12 years ago. I wish I would have understood this before 12 years ago, right? Like in middle school, high school, maybe even before then. But it is my prayer, like, I will not date a narcissistic man again. I will not date an unhealed man again. And I know nobody's going to be perfect, but I really mean, like, the level of work in which I have done and I have did, I will never date somebody who's going to make me forget that, right? And I also will not raise children, right, who can't regulate their emotions, who can't face the truth, handle the truth, because that means you're rejecting the Lord. If you get what I'm saying? Like, he is the truth. And that's not my desire, it's not my prayer. My prayer is that I marry a healed man, a whole man, right, who wants to show up and be what the Lord has called him to be in this life, right? But that we're able to raise children who know who they are and who show up and they're not afraid. And I already pray that my babies have a spirit of Jehu, because that bullying stuff ain't happening over here. I got bullied enough for everybody. Like, you not babying my babies. You know what I'm saying? And that is my prayer, that they won't be intimidated or, silenced. Because that came up a lot over the weekend. Like, all the years of folks trying to shut me up and keep me quiet. Shut me up before I could even talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even get to say nothing. But the Lord told me, plain as day, like, people feel your presence and they feel your voice. Like, they hear your word. Like, that is why that's happened my whole life. Because why? He is in me. So you feel him. And when I speak, you feel the conviction of the Lord. Not Megan. I can't convict nobody, right? Like, but that is who you feel, because it's the truth. It's raw. And so understanding that, like, y'all was always trying to shut me up, even before I could start talking. Like, whether that's literally like in a circumstance, in a situation, or before I got to this point to where I could express and share on the internet. Because I really shouldn't be on the internet. I really should have been bullied down so bad that I wasn't here. But I thank God, because he did not allow that. He was so much in me that he did not allow that. And I thank him. I really do. So I pray y'all have a great day. Here's to more healing and growth and just understanding what has happened, so you can, like, you know what, we're going to switch things around right in here, okay? Like, here's to that. I love y'all. Have a great day.